Hello everyone and welcome back for another Star Trek The Official Starships Collection review. Before me now I have the USS Defiant NX-74205 Registry, the extra large edition or special issue depending on how you choose to look at it. And this came in a few days ago. I'm just now getting to it. Trying to wrap this up before I go to Vegas for the convention. And yeah, as you can see, I have the box with the ship and the magazine. So I will get the magazine, or excuse me, the box out of the way, and then we can very easily look at the magazine. Alright, so there is the magazine, USS Defiant NX-74205 special issue. As of course it is the Defiant class, launched in 2370, 170.68 meters long, and has only 4 decks. Awesome image of the ship there, always love the underside. So you'll notice there's no lettering up here, as this is a special in the XL collection. So it doesn't appear to have a numbering system with these. Turn the page, and the magazine format is the same as all the others, with stand assembly for those of you who need help with that, and more on the specification, which mostly I just mentioned. It first appeared in the Search Part 1 on Deep Space Nine at the beginning of the 3rd season, and the last time it was seen, at least the original Defiant, was in Season 7 in The Changing Face of Evil. The ship was designed by Jim Martin and of course captained by Benjamin Sisko himself. And ironically, this magazine, it's just mostly magazine filler. That's what I call it. Magazine filler is just material that they put in there to kind of just supplement whatever they know about the model in the ship itself or the particular subject matter, and they just throw other things in there to kind of take up more paper space or take up more space to make it feel like a more cohesive or full product. And it looks like the majority or everything about the Defiant for the most part was told in the regular size issue that we got a long time ago. So when you get into this magazine, it just jumps right into the filler. And this is just a section about the origins of Deep Space Nine and the whole idea and the thought process and all that. And then as you can see, here's a little concept artist drawing of Bajor. So that's kind of interesting. And you turn the page and it's more about that and the ideas. And you can just kind of tell from the pictures on their own. You have the wormhole and Sisko and Jake and Chief O'Brien and a publicity shot from TNG, and then you have the Ferengi, and then of course you have that trill from the Perfect Mate. And yeah, turn the page, more on that, and more on that. Quite a lot, really, if you think about it. And then finally we get to the casting of Deep Space Nine, which is probably one of the better parts of this particular issue. So it goes down the line and gives you a brief idea of how the characters are supposed to be based on the original Deep Space Nine Bible from back in the day. And the rest of the cast and the possibilities that they were thinking of the time. And finally, filming Deep Space Nine. Talked about all the various scenes. Mostly the pilot episode in the infamous Battle of Wolf 359. Some of the inspiration behind this and models and whatnot. And finally, after, let's say, 18 pages or 17 pages, we finally get to something that actually talks about the Defiant specifically, which is a bit of a shame considering that this is magazines for the Defiant, you know? So yeah, this little brief section talks about the, I guess, Enter the Defiant, into the season 3 of Deep Space Nine. And unfortunately, in this brief section, you only get these 2.5 paragraphs really, and some concept artists and some concept drawings and stuff like that that we've previously already seen. And that's it. The magazine just ends, and the ship is on the back there, Nice view as always. A bit of a bummer magazine-wise. Maybe it just wouldn't have been necessary to have this magazine at all, I guess you could say. Or maybe they just could have, just stocked in the other magazine. I don't know. But anyway, enough about that. And now, drum roll, at long last, I'm going to get to the ship itself. Alrighty, folks. As you can see, this thing is in a box, huge. Nothing special about the box. Same as any other special or even the regular size issues. Got all the various series logos on the side there. And of course an image of the model as it would appear. So let's get it open and see what's going on. All right, and here she is, the USS Defiant, the extra large edition. And I have to say it is pretty darn awesome. The paint is okay. Could be a little darker, certain areas like the nacelle, tops of the nacelles and so forth. But everything looks pretty bang on. As you can see, the registry is pretty good. USS Defiant, nice and bold there. Your Starfleet pendant is nice and bold. The stripes are straight and perfectly aligned there. The registry on the bow is correct and spot on there. You can actually see the deflector this time, which is plastic and blue, which is always good. You can kind of see it shimmering camera-wise. The front of the nacelles are red for the Bassard collectors, and the underside, pretty darn good too. And you got your Starfleet pendant there, and stripes are good. Registries there. On this side, on the port side, you have the Starfleet pendant going in the right direction, and on the starboard side, you have it going in the right direction, and on the port side, it's the same thing. Unlike the original Defiant model from issue whatever number it was that we got a few years ago, they actually got this correct, so that's nice. I know some people were kind of bummed out about this. They think it says Defiant, but actually, it doesn't look too bad. I can still read that as Defiant. One little mark of a pen should fix that. Registry is okay, aside from that. And the back of the ship, the model looks cool. Way more accurate in this case than the regular size issue. They got the nacelles half right because of this. But this space in between there was kind of weird actually. And I think from what others have said, this might have something to do with the fact that the studio got their hands on a broken model, or Eaglemoss got their hands on a broken model, or the designs for the broken model, which is why it looks that way. I could be wrong, and if you have the correct information, then by all means, please correct me down in the comment section. But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty good. It's got some weight to it. This is all metal, and then the nacelles are plastic. And then just so you can kind of see how big it is in your hand, it's bigger than my hand. That's what she said, right? But yeah, the thing is pretty big, and it will look nice alongside the original Enterprise XL and the Voyager XL that I got. And it looks pretty good. I'm very, very happy with this overall. I've always loved the Defiant, and I love how accurate it is. For the most part, paint issues, a couple of paint quibbles notwithstanding, and the nacelle thing. Overall, it's a pretty solid model, and this is probably one of the ones that I would say would be worth going out and getting. It would run you back about $74 US, depending on how you get it, or depending on which medium you use. And yeah, I would definitely go and check that out and pick this up. I would highly recommend it. There are people who are good at modifying things like registries and adding colors to it and stuff like that to, without messing it up. And I'm not the patient type, at least in that regard, to sit here and try to fix this. I mean, it's perfectly fine the way it was, the way it is. And as I've said many times for other things, if I had this years ago when the show was on the air, man, I would have had a field day. And the other thing I want to point out is that my bow of the ship doesn't wiggle. I've been fortunate. My Defiant doesn't have a wiggly nose there, or nose, or a deflector pod, or whatever the heck that is. So I'm very grateful about that. And of course, it comes with a stand. And now I'm going to shut up and show you how that looks on the stand. And let's go on from there. So if you have any questions about it, please feel free to drop it down below. I'd really appreciate that. I would highly recommend you picking this up, especially if you're a fan of Deep Space Nine like I am. It's a pretty awesome ship. It's an awesome model. Not perfect by any means, but still good nonetheless. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and now you'll see what it looks like on the stand in all its glory.